Peace and power, family. Welcome back to Unto Read Quotes to Live By, where we are reading all about love by Bell Hooks, and we are on chapter 12, child, Healing Redemptive Love. And you know, I like to jump right into it. So, the first quote that we have for today says, "Growing up is, at heart, the process of learning to take responsibility for whatever happens in your life." And I think that this is such an important quote to start with because a lot of us struggle with accountability. And as we grow up, we're like, oh, adulting is crazy, adulting is hard. It's hard to make these decisions as adults. And it is because prior to us being adults, we didn't really have to take responsibility for our own decisions and actions. So I think that this is a beautiful way to talk about the healing process as not something that you're doing for somebody else or something that you're doing so that you can be in a relationship or however else the media is pushing healing, but it's something that helps you hold yourself responsible. It helps you take accountability for your own actions. So I love that quote, "Growing up is at heart the process of learning to take responsibility for whatever happens in your life." It's on you. It is. It's unfortunate because a lot of the reasons why we make decisions and how we make decisions is based off of a whole bunch of other things that ain't got nothing to do with us. But all of those things do impact how and why we make decisions. So when we grow up, we are embodying our decisions and we have to take responsibility and be held accountable for them. Okay, the next quote says, "Healthy families resolve conflict without coercion, shame, or violence." A lot of our families are dysfunctional, and I think we definitely talked about this in another one of these videos. And having to recognize that one way that we can measure whether or not the relationships, whether it's family or friendships, are healthy is whether or not we resolve conflict with coercion, shame, or violence, because those are not healthy, right? So if you are evaluating your relationships and how you guys are dealing with conflict when conflict arises, and you're seeing that there's some shaming happening, some manipulation and some coercion going on, you got to change it. You got to stop, pause, and either deal with it, address it, name it in the moment, or remove yourself from that relationship. And I know it's hard when it's family, but you have to protect your own peace. If you love yourself, in one way to show yourself love is to remove yourself from those unhealthy environments. So, healthy families resolve conflict without coercion, shaming, or violence. Okay? The next quote that I want to get into is kind of like a little snippet, like a little paragraph, a couple sentences. But it says, "We comforted ourselves by acting out. But this comfort did not last. It was usually followed by depression and overwhelming grief. We longed to be rescued because we did not know how to save ourselves." And I think that this little chunk is so important to me because a lot of times we act out and we thinking that that's us controlling the situation, that's us taking our power back, that's us doing what we want to do. And it's like, no, baby, that's you crying out for help. That's you not being able to stand in your agency, not being able to walk healthily yourself and hold yourself accountable and take responsibility for what your life is and how it looks. So we really have to start thinking about why we are making the decisions that we are making. And one place or one way to see how you are healing is, am I acting out? Am I doing things that I normally wouldn't do? Right? And why am I doing that? If I'm acting out in a way that is like, no, I really want to do this and I ain't never done it and I am honoring my inner child and my deep down subconscious wants and needs, then okay, that is some healing work going on. That is some real taking responsibility for your life, and you are doing the things that are abnormal, that are not normal to other people, but they are your way of showing up authentically and as self. But if you're acting out and doing things that you don't normally do for attention because somebody made you mad or rooted in anything outside of self, what did the quote say? We comforted ourselves by acting out, but this comfort did not last. It was usually followed by depression and overwhelming grief. You get sad after you do it. If you get sad after you do it, it's probably acting out for comfort and not because it's something that you authentically want to do. And that's a great measure. It's a great measure to have to figure out, am I taking responsibility? Am I owning my own actions? Am I holding myself accountable? Am I acting out or am I being authentic? I love Belle. I love Belle because I love instructions. I love directions. I love a test. I love a good check for understanding. Okay? And I think that these quotes that she puts in here and these little tidbits and tips are perfect to use to check for understanding and to check for alignment with our values in our own lives. The next quote says, "The bridge of illusion must be destroyed before a real bridge can be constructed." We got to stop pretending that what is happening is not what's happening. That there is something outside of us that is making us make these decisions and take these actions. You got to destroy the build of illusion, the bridge of illusion, okay? And build a bridge that is real, that is based in reality, okay? And if you don't like your reality, then getting rid of all of that illusion will help you face your reality and take some responsibility and heal and move in a way that is more authentic. But you first have to break that bridge of illusion. Okay? The next quote says, "When we surrender to the weight, we allow changes to emerge within us without anticipation or struggle." Surrender. That is the key. We know that so many things are coming in from all different angles. So many things are trying to influence what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. We have to surrender and know self. You got to be aware of what you actually want and what you actually think and what you actually feel so that you can make the decisions that align with you and not the decisions that are because somebody else put this out there and thinks this is what you should be doing. And this is who you are. And this is what people like that do. No. If you surrender to the weight, to the pause, and actually engaging with your own thoughts and your own feelings, then you will better know how to act and how to move. Right? And the last two things that I'll end on, because it's a two-part quote, says, "When we practice forgiveness, we let go of shame." And the other part of that was, "Power gives us the illusion of having triumphed over fear, over our need for love." So when we practice forgiveness, we get rid of the shame, right? Shame is the thing that is stopping us from making most of the authentic decisions that we want to make and showing up as our real selves, because we've either been shamed in the past or are afraid of being shamed now, right? So if we forgive whoever shamed us in the past, even if it was our own selves, and we forgive society for putting out all this bullshit, then we will be able to move past the shame into power. But because we live in a society that abuses power, power also makes us believe that we've overcome fear, that we don't need love and we got power and that is better. And no. That is not true, because abusing power is harmful, not only to the people that you are abusing the power with, but yourself, right? And you want to make good connections. You want to provide love and healing and good things to the world. We don't want to be out here abusing people, right? So, and you have to release the shame and get clear on what you want and the values that you have, so that when you exercise power, you're not just pretending to overcome your fear, by abusing others and harming others, or pretending that you don't need love and community, by abusing and having power over and making people do things and having control over people, you actually will be able to use that power to build community and to make love. So yes, that is chapter 12 on healing from All About Love. We got one more chapter left. Yes, Lord. And I think I want to do another bell hook book after this. So drop in the comments if you have another bell hooks book that you think we should get into, or if you're looking for a different author, because I am reading my shelf this year. So I got a lot of books on the table. So thank you guys so much for your love and community. Stay safe.